Welcome to Breakthrough, the podcast supported by the Arts Council, helping change the music industry, one episode at a time. So excited for our very first episode of Breakthrough, and it's with one of my favourite artists over the last few years, Sophie Griffiths. She's made such a name for herself online, on TikTok, with her cheeky personality and her love for the hybrid of modern pop music mixed with the retro soul influences that she has grown to love in her upbringing from her family. And that authenticity and love for those kind of styles of music has helped her build up such a massive following online and growing new fans all the time. So it's great that we can welcome Sophie to the podcast. Welcome to Breakthrough. Sophie Griffiths, welcome
Hello.
to the very first episode of Breakthrough. You are our first guest
Oh my God.
on Breakthrough.
I feel so honoured.
How are you, first of all?
I'm good. Yeah, just recovering from a horrible cold, but other than that, swell.
Go for all the ailments.
I know, legit. Yeah, woe is me.
Like this and that.
Let's get the sub story out. Come on, the violins. I want this.
Did
as
you
the
bring one with
intro.
you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was your bag.
What? Violin.
The violin, yeah. Can you play?
Do you know what? It's actually not that funny because I used to play, but really badly.
Really?
Yeah. I
Oh.
used to play growing up, and my parents were like, "Can you stop?" I was like, "No, they didn't." I was just my practicing was like
Like we're moaning, yeah.
kind of that kind of vibe. So
Okay.
it would actually be quite appropriate.
Next time.
Yes, next time I'll remember, yeah.
Look, Sophie, I've had the pleasure of getting to know your music over the years through other various things that I've done in, radio and like music stuff.
Yeah.
And you spent years making a name for yourself. I know you spent years sending music everywhere, grinding at the whole journey of being an artist and like discovering it along the way. And this podcast is called Breakthrough, and we're basically just trying to get as many different people's stories and journeys as possible, because every path is very different for every single artist. And through that, hoping we're helping the industry a little bit, one step at a time. So it'll be different for every artist. What do you feel like was your big breakthrough to date, whether that be, hitting a certain number of streams or a personal moment? What do you think that is for you?
I think I'm yet to have a big breakthrough.
Okay.
But I think like my first foot in the door was TikTok. I feel like it's an unoriginal answer, but genuinely it was, it's opened so many doors for me. And I'm really grateful for it as a platform. I think like at the time it was super unique because there wasn't any other platform where you could literally land on like anyone's phone. And so, I think like I initially just started having fun with the app in lockdown with my sister. Like we were making really stupid videos and like all the trending ones like the banana bread one.
Oh my God, everyone was making banana bread.
I know. I still make banana bread.
Are you keeping up the trend?
Yeah, I literally I'm consistent at least. It's
Fair
the only
enough.
thing I can really bake, so. But yeah, so I started doing that, and then I was like, actually, this is a really great opportunity for, independent artists that I don't think there has been before. Started like just having fun doing some covers. I initially started doing some really bizarre rewrites, and obviously that was the thing that took off for me. Always the one that you spend like 5 minutes on rather than the one that you spend like an hour on.
It's always the way.
And then it sort of spiraled from there. I carried on doing some like pop, so old school songs into modern day rewrites. And then obviously released my own music, which I've had the privilege of people liking on there as well, which is good, because that's never a guarantee. I think that was probably like my first foot in, and then I'm still grinding away for the old big one, but there we go. Got to start somewhere.
No, TikTok is like, I think a lot artists sort of, they feel both ways about it. They feel like, oh, not TikTok again, but then actually it's like such a powerful thing for so many like artists like yourself independently. And you talk about the covers that you've done of like rewrites of songs, but in your own Essex kind of Sophie Griffiths way. We will come on to that. But how did little Sophie Griffiths first become interested, infatuated with making the music you are right now? Like, what do you put it down to, at your hometown in Essex, and sort of giving it a go for the very first time?
Yeah, I mean, like Essex was where I did my first ever shows, and I Yeah, I guess so. Like, I'd started out doing like open mics and stuff. Like my first ever performance was at my school.
Okay,
And
wow.
I was do you know what? I had such
That's
a
a lot.
Yeah, no, it was a lot. But I had such a full circle moment in December. So a really good writer producer friend of mine was doing a charity concert to raise money for the hospice that his mum was in, and he got like all of these, you know, like he had some artists and other writers that he'd worked with in the past, and it all came together, and it was a really lovely evening. But my first ever singing teacher that got me to do my first ever performance was at that show.
What?
How
oh my
weird
God,
is
that's
that?
mad.
So we had like a reunion after like 7-8 years,
Yeah.
which is crazy. So yeah, so it all started at school, which is obviously Brentwood, big up. And then so I'd started doing like open mics. Do you remember? Oh my gosh.
You're testing my memory
I
now.
know, yeah. Well, I've done pretty much every open mic in Essex. And that was like really where I started like the live side of things in particular, which is a huge side of the industry, which I love performing live. It's one of my favourite things about this. So yeah, I'd 100% put it down to
that.
To like my hometown, and then obviously, you know, as you get more opportunities, you branch out into London and whatever. So yeah.
What, like you feature your family a lot on your socials.
Yeah.
Both your mum and your dad. Your mum is obviously very much into music herself, learn grades and stuff like that. Who, or if maybe all of them in their own way, had an influence on you in terms of music in that kind of sense? Yeah.
Do you know what? I always thought that music playing in, like, there was always music playing in everyone's house, but like it's actually not the case. So, but my whole family, I think, is super into music. Like my dad just is a proper muso. Like he really introduced me to all of my favourite artists now. So like he probably gave me a musication in like the music listening side of things. So he introduced me to Stevie Wonder, who's my absolute idol. Erykah Badu, he loves. Like lots of 90s artists as well, which is really cool. But yeah, as you say, my mum's a pianist, so she's classically trained, so it's like kind of slightly different. And
different side of things.
Yeah, different side of things. And so yeah, she was definitely like wanted, not wanted, but like, was like, do you want to try musical instruments? Because obviously that's what she knew. My granddad as well was like someone that was really annoying, that could just pick up any instrument.
Oh, he had perfect pitch as well and all that.
Yeah, I think he probably did, and he was like, so he used to do lots. My mum did like a marching band growing up, and he ran the marching band. So, music has been like a big part of my family, really. And so I'd say it's like a combination of everyone, but I love music, always have done, and I guess that's kind of like a learned thing as well.
And what you're repping today kind of gives off the whole love for retro mixed in with kind of like a modern take as you do now, but old retro soul, 60s, 70s music. Like where is that rooted in? Because a lot of people you'll see on TikTok when you post your videos, I'm sure you like look at what other artists are doing, and it maybe feels like way futuristic. They're all doing like electronic music or dance. Like, what's the conscious decision in your head that's just gravitated you to like commit to this? And obviously, as you say, people are digging it and love it.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
They are.
They like it.
We do.
I think it was the music that I like first connected with, to be honest. Like that's always the way that I've gone. Like whatever feels the best, I kind of go with. And like soul music, particularly like that Motown era in the 60s. When I first heard that song, it just made me feel something that perhaps like other songs or other genres didn't. And so I've always that's always been like on my playlists, on my iPod. I was always a bit weird because everybody else was like One Direction, and I loved One Direction, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, hold on a minute. You could alienate a few people here.
No, I was, I genuinely, I had like Eliza Doolittle on my little iPod shuffle.
Yeah,
Eliza
oh God,
Doolittle,
that's throwing it back.
Put Your Records On by Corinne Bailey Ray.
Yeah. And
then I had like Stevie Wonder. So I think, I just gravitated towards it. And I think because it was surrounding me growing up, like my dad, it was like the norm for my dad to play as well. Because in my head it was like, oh, this is like normal.
This is
for
what's
like
on the radio right now.
Yeah, it's for a 10-year-old to listen to. And I was listening to like Adele 19, like as if I'd experienced that kind of heartbreak as well. But yeah, and her early stuff's super bluesy, and I think Yeah, I think I just always gravitated towards it. I think like you always have a bit of like a soul
Yeah.
pull towards whatever
Yeah.
feels good. And then I went from there, really.
Can you remember the time then when you've had all of that pouring of just influence crossing over each other?
Yeah.
You've written probably loads of songs. You're like, that doesn't quite work. Maybe I don't want to put this one out as my first. Oh, I've kind of just got to bite the bullet. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And remember the time you put out your first single. Well, how did that feel?
Yeah, scary. Also because like I didn't really know what I was doing. Like I've been someone like none of my family like they love music, but no one's in the music industry.
Yeah, right.
And so everything that I've done, I've kind of just like felt around in the dark for. I'm like, that was right. Let's go
That's
for
over
that.
there, I
Make the
think.
mistake and then do something different. And so it was definitely scary, but I think it felt good. Like I think I first properly started releasing after TikTok had happened.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice to get like an instant like, oh, people are liking this or no, they're not liking it, and then sort of going from there. And I think like I'm finally at a point where I've sort of found my sound as well with that combination of that old 60s swing kind of sound with the modern pop, because I think for a while I really battled with the two, because I love writing pop music and that's what my pen kind of gravitates to anyway. But I still wanted that like authenticity about what I'm doing and to have that in there, and I feel like I've really landed in a sweet spot, and I'm really excited to release the new music that I've got because that's kind of where it's headed.
Well, you said that. It's really wholesome.
Yeah.
Just it's like the pen just goes that way. Like, actually, out of interest, like lots of artists probably now like maybe type things. They've got on loads of like voice memos for like maybe certain ideas of melody they've got in their head and just humming at that point. What's that kind of process for you? Like, are you physically writing stuff down in like a dedicated notebook? Like you only get the same notebook and then you move on to the same style? Like, what's that kind of part like for you?
Yeah, do you know what? I used to be, when I first started out, everything was on paper.
Really?
And I was going into sessions. No, I genuinely had like a paper diary. I was like living in like olden times, for real. And people were like, what are you doing? Like, get Google Calendar and sort your life out. And I was like,
sadly, they're not sponsoring this episode, but feel free. I mean, what's the possibilities?
No, so I love, like, my natural thing is to write down on paper, because there's something that's like, I don't know, there's something
it's tangible.
Feels right. There's tangible. It's in your hand and it feels good. But in sessions, like, it is just easier to get like a Google Doc up and share it. So I'm not like, I don't solely do that. But when I'm writing on my own at my piano, so it's actually my nan's piano, old piano.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My mum learnt to play on, and we had it like restored, and that sits in my living room at home, and that's where I write with my notebook. And then so it's probably where like the initial idea starts from, and then I go into the studio and write on a Google Doc like everyone else. I'm like a normal person.
Here we are in 2025.
It's maybe the judgment from other people. Like.
You've talked about the online world so much, and I'm not going to ignore it anymore, because like you do put a lot of the recent times, maybe that's fair enough to say, down to that, and a lot of people sharing and enjoying your creations. Like you become maybe a really much loved artist on TikTok online, putting a spin on well-known historic tracks and then sort of rewriting them in a 2025 Essex way. Whatever you're feeling. Where did the spark come for those kind of ideas? Because the one I remember really vividly, and like I guess it's certain moments where people get really invested on TikTok, and when you're posting stuff, you did a rework of the Coming Home. It's Coming Home for England.
Yes, I did.
And that like went crazy. But then there's been so many other ones. It's just how did all that kind of philosophy come from? Yeah.
Don't know. Where's most things come out of my mouth come from? Don't know. I wish I knew. I think it's definitely like everyday experiences. Like, I don't know, I come from like a very normal house. Like everyone in my house do like 9 to 5s, and like I don't know, I've always been quite an observant character, like and I eavesdrop on the train. I'm like the worst kind of person. I'm like,
can you remember the worst one you've heard lately on the train?
I just love a bit of drama mostly. Like Sharon's done this to Karen, and like I love it.
Or they're on the phone the whole train journey,
and they're so loud. I'm like, do they just like have no social awareness? But it's good for me because I write stuff down for songs. You know what I mean? But so I think like I observe and I write, and then obviously sometimes it's stuff that I've experienced, and we love football in our house, so it's Coming Home was kind of a no-brainer. Like it's always on. West Ham, my dad supports them, they're always on. And then obviously when it's England, I feel like it's more of like a communal, like people that don't usually watch football, i.e. me, start watching football. And then it's like, just brings the country together, I think, of it. So,
so then when you put out that first kind of video, what were your expectations? Were you like, why am I doing this? Or I think this will work? Like, how did you feel about it?
I think I just didn't think that much about it.
Good. That's good. A lot of people say that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so, because and I've definitely gone through phases where I've overthought stuff, and then that's like the worst thing you can do. And I think at the beginning, as I say, I was just having fun with it with my sister anyway, and so I was like, let me just do some fun stuff with songs. I think I was like, it was out of boredom mainly at the beginning, and then it like spiraled into something that like I didn't expect it to. So I guess just think less, do more is my motto.
That's it. That's the title of this episode.
Yeah.
Sorted. There we go. Think less, do more. Sophie Griffiths was here.
That's it. Right on the wall somewhere.
That's a great idea. Oh my God, yeah. We should get something like that to do like the signatures and stuff. Because your signature, you know, is what right now, but maybe in 2 years is going to be worth millions.
Well, I hope so.
And this is where we put this clip in 2 years.
Yeah.
In one of your videos. Ta-da!
That'd be so cool. Yeah.
And it's particularly on that whole thing of putting TikToks out there and thinking about that kind of things. I hear from so many artists that I speak to, like, it is a drain, but then they know how like important it is to do.
Yeah.
And you know how much of a difference it does make. And there'll be artists, you know, watching this, listening to this episode right now. What is kind of like that tip of advice from your perspective when you've done all of that and gone through those thoughts of why it can be a good thing?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because to be honest, like, I am also human. Like, obviously I
need time to
choose
rest
to see the positive side, but like obviously at times the app is like constantly changing. Also, like in lockdown when I started, I had like all the time in the world, because I was actually in music college when lockdown first happened. Hence why I had so much time, because I was like, my course was meant to be, or I'd jump on for one and they'd be like, see ya for the rest of the week. And I'd be like, woo!
Result.
And I had loads of time. So yeah, I kind of really struggled actually when I was starting to get back into like normal life with juggling everything, because as an independent artist, you're your own writer. Sometimes like people produce on their own, which I really admire. You're your own, like, I don't know, artwork person. Sometimes like you're doing the business side, you're doing your own finances, like crazy. So much to do, and I really get it, because sometimes it feels like, oh my God, like another thing. But genuinely, I think in those moments, you just have to choose to see like the good side of what it can do, because it can do so much good. Like there's been so many instances where, you know, I've put something out there that at the time didn't do anything for me, but then like a year down the line has like made this happen for me.
It's always so weird, isn't it?
And it's so weird. So it's like you kind of just have to put yourself out there in order for the universe to bring you the things that you're hoping for. And I'm like a big believer in. I sound a bit hippy dippy, which I look like a hippie actually. So that's good. No, but I like, I'm a big believer in like you get out what you put in. Hard work does pay off, and in the moments where you're like, what's the point? You're gonna be like, come on, there is a point, there is an end goal, like zoom out, because I'm someone that also like can't see the wood from the trees sometimes. When you're doing everything,
we're all guilty of that.
Every creative that has ever lived feels like that sometimes. Like you get so zoomed into a project, making everything perfect, and if we all like stayed in that place forever, we'd literally just never get anything done. So I do to like get a perspective sometimes and be like,
completely relate to that. I don't know why.
Get a grip.
It's really coming to me, that feeling.
And I do just have to check myself sometimes, because I can be like, you know, I think all creatives like very sensitive beings. I'm a massive overthinker, and I have to sometimes check myself and be like, get a grip, get on with it. It's not that deep. No one's dying.
This is true. This is true. And we're doing music. Like,
it's a privilege.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it's an absolute privilege. So,
but still, lots of things are really challenging.
100%. Yeah, obviously, two sides of the coin.
And every artist's dream is to get the music out there to as many people as possible, share those experiences that that kind of, the passion and love that's going through your music. People might have heard your music on Love Island and other reality TV shows, and particularly Strictly Come Dancing, which I know that was a particular thing recently for you, which we can come on to. For artists that are like looking at this right now, where you were at that stage once, where you were like, oh my God, how are they getting their music on their shows? How do you do that? Like without getting like too businessy, because I guess that gets complicated, but how do you reach that point for artists that might be one of their sort of big dreams or their big tick boxes?
Honestly, just like find a way. So my first one, I always had like it in my head, like they'd only want like big artists' music on there, blah blah blah. And I was like, hang on a minute, like who's to say that they couldn't make my song big, right? And there was like a time where, like, do you remember when Lost Without You was played on the show? And Freya Rydins at the time, like, was an independent, smaller artist, got her song played, and it was huge. I was like, come on, let's have it. Let's give it a go. Literally, all I did was I looked on the credits of the show, because I watched Love Island, as we know, like, religiously, like a sourdough. And I literally looked at the end of the credits onto the music supervisors, went online, and I went, what's the ITV email? And I found the structure of the email, tried like 3 different emails, bounced back, okay, what's the other one that I could do? And then just found the email, sent it off. And then also I
love that,
found a connection. Yeah,
it's just so simple.
It's like borderline stalking, but just like make it legit. It's like, literally just like found a way, sent my music in. And then I think it so happened that like really randomly, like bearing in mind my mum isn't anything to do with the music industry. One of her friends worked on the show.
Of course she did.
And she was like, don't ask, you don't get. By any chance, would you mind giving them a little nudge, say my daughter's sent it in to you, probably get a million emails. They came back to me and my song was played on the show.
Just like that?
Just like that, mate. Only took me like about a million emails.
And I remember your cover of Must Be Love was probably one of the most used ones,
First one. And then, from there, they used it on like the US show. It's been played on I'm a Celeb. So you just don't know, because obviously ITV, they cover so many of the well-known shows on the telly that, we as like a family just sit and watch. And so once you're on the system, you're on the system, mate.
So there you are. You were like, how on earth does this make sense? And then you're getting pulled from every reality show under the sun and everyone's hearing it. Yeah,
just basically be like really annoying. No.
Okay. That's great. We can do that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think I just found a way. I was just thinking, how on earth can I find the email? There you go. Send it in.
Talking of mum, I have to bring this up. I know we've talked about this off mics before, and it's quite funny. Over the years, your mum has been trying to get Gary Barlow's attention to hear your music, probably because she fancies him.
Oh, 100%.
Just for that interaction, but also because she wants you to do well. And maybe also get it in front of someone like that and a chance for him to hear it. Can you explain maybe the slight backstory to that and her attempts of how she's gone about it and the rate of success you've had with that or not?
Yeah,
because we can try and make this happen right now.
Yeah, we could, Gary. Honestly, my mum would collapse if Gary Barlow ever got wind of this. But basically, we've had a 0% success rate so far, which isn't strong. But you know what it is? The reason, like, she's not completely delulu. So my mum's like such a big Gary Barlow fan and Take That fan that she's on like GB Army, and that means that he follows her back on Twitter.
Okay, that's the thing.
So technically he is actually just ignoring us at this point, because it is going into his DMs. And he's like, this woman again, go away. No. So I don't know what's happening there, to be honest. I think the last time we did it was like July, so maybe we should give it another go.
Yeah, that's why I was bringing it up, because I know you normally do a video around it, and you know, we've done this a few times, and Gary's a bit busy doing his own thing.
I mean, he's a little bit busy man. So I do get it, but like Ruth would actually, like, I'm pretty sure she would just be like, that's it.
What do you think he would say about your music? What do you think the reaction might be? Just to sort of manifest it for him.
Yeah. Okay, so Gary, you're thinking, wow, this girl is absolutely phenomenal. Really love her, gonna take her on tour with me. That's the manifestation. But obviously you could equally listen to it and be like, this is a pile of poo. Hopefully the one before is your option.
Yeah.
So yeah, just fingers crossed really.
Right.
Maybe just pop it on TikTok and then say tag Gary Barlow.
That's the idea, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. We can do that, can't we? Yeah,
Can
yeah,
we?
right. There's the pitch. There you go. Did you just blow a kiss to Gary Barlow?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
Grab
he'll
it like
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Look, watch this space, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think particularly, this is my input now from having heard like a lot of your music and like seeing the videos online. Like, I think it's fair to say people really warm to just how you are, and just like
Thanks.
You're an Essex gal doing your own thing from Brentwood, and you're like reworking these songs, and it's there's comedic value in it, and people really sort of buy into that. And I think it's fair to say you're quite proud of where you're from and owning that. And how important do you think that is for artists to lean into where they're from and their background and the people around you in your life? Because I think there is this tendency, isn't there, as an artist to be this perfect, polished, like, I guess if we're talking in something, I hate this word, product.
Yeah, no, but it is a brand.
That kind of thing. How much should they, have that in mind to just not be too straight, I guess is the way of putting it.
Yeah, I think it's so important. Like, I was always taught at music college to, like, first of all, you as your artist project has to be authentic. Otherwise, it's just never going to run.
Mm.
Like, it just never is. And I remember one of the projects at music, and this sounds really bizarre, was like, who are you? Where do you...
life's question.
Yeah, no, yeah, like, who... No, but breaking it down into, like, where did you grow up? What was your family like? What are your interests? Like, what do you genuinely like doing? Because ultimately, like, every artist is a human. Like, I do get that obviously it's a brand, it's a product.
You're a robot right now.
Product,
Yeah.
sorry. But, like, ultimately it has to come from, like, who you are as a human being and what you stand for. Otherwise, like, what are you writing about? What do you want to say? Do you know what I mean? And, like, I think we're all looking just for, like, genuine human connection on the daily. And that's, like, always been my main goal with what I'm doing. Like, it's always been my form of communication, like, expressing my emotion. And if that, like, the most satisfied I am as an artist is when, like, a song that I've written is connecting with another human being. And that's always been, like, at the heart of what I'm doing. So I think maybe that's why. But yeah, I genuinely am so proud of where I come from and, like, my heritage as well. Like, I come from a really like hard working that's been drilled into me from the beginning, and I'm really proud of that. And I think everyone should be proud of where they come from, because everybody's so unique, and that's the beauty of the world. Like, if we were all exactly the same, like, it'd just be super boring. So like, you should embrace everyone's differences, because it comes together and creates, like, if everyone, like, came together in a room, you just learn so much from everyone. So, like, yeah, I don't know.
And it works itself out, even if at the time you don't feel like it's there, or like, oh my god, it needs to be like this because a label might look at me that way, or
100%. And I think
like
there's
that.
always going to be trends in music. Like, obviously the most recent one's probably, like, country music. And, like, if you want to be that type of person that, like, that artist that does jump on every trend, then, like, Happy Days, like, that could be your thing. But like, ultimately there's always going to be something new that people are focusing on. So if you're consistently your time will come. It just might not be, like, an immediate thing. So yeah, I think it's important to be yourself.
Wisdom classes with Sophie Griffiths.
Come on, £10
£10 an hour.
Yeah, I didn't mean for that to get so deep.
No, I love it.
Listen,
it's very, it's useful.
Days.
It's useful for other people to hear, because it's the reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something you do like to share and write about in your music, not getting too personal, you can be as personal or least personal if you like, is dating. Relationships, that kind of thing. The song's been helping you get things off your chest. Like, do you put everything in 100%? You hold some stuff back, or because I mean, there's plenty of songs in music. I mean, right now that definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean, all those songs have come from a genuine place of, like, frustration, because I'm, like, as I say, I'm someone that thrives off of, like, human connection, like real life stuff. Even though social media is, like, such a big part of what I do, I guess that's such a different way of connecting. But, like, I've always loved like interacting with people, talking to people in real life, and I find like that side of dating so frustrating because like I definitely go off of like vibes of a person like in real life, and you can't get that off of like a screen. And I find that like even when you go out nowadays, like now, why do I sound like a nan? Sorry, what? I'm literally like,
because your musical brain is in 1970.
So,
nowadays I go out and do this.
No, but like honestly, when I go out with my friends, like people generally like, I think it's been since lockdown as well, by the way, stick to like the people that they've been out with. Like there's so much less of like just going up to someone and being like, hi, how are you? And I think there's such a beauty in that. Like, I don't know. So yeah, they all come from a genuine place of like, I look at the way that like my nan and granddads, like both sets of nan and granddads met, and like it was so wholesome, like, and I'm like, I just want that. And that's where it all stems from. Obviously still unlucky in the whole dating scene, so
as I said, didn't want to get too
let's do another 2 years down the line. Sophie's still single. So yeah, man.
But the songs
what
are
can
helping.
I say about it?
The songs are medication.
Yeah, it is. And I think like maybe that's why people connect with them, because other people feel that way as well. Like it's really, it's actually rough out there. The streets are treacherous, genuinely.
I'm fortunate, but
it
can quickly turn. But it won't.
No, it won't.
It won't. Okay, if you're watching this, it's not going to.
It won't.
Okay, it
No.
won't.
But it's rough out there, man. It's rough. Yeah.
A big ethos of this podcast is being driven in the grassroots.
Yeah.
And obviously you were talking about like doing every open mic in Essex. You talked about doing countless live shows and doing open mics and all of that kind of thing at college, school, even, playing there.
Yeah.
And we just hear about the grassroots at the moment. Like it's the number one topic of conversation. We always hear about, no matter how small or big an artist is, they're struggling to make this end meet, and what's the point of doing this tour? What's the point of putting this out? How much has the grassroots helped you as an artist up to this point, and what's your kind of take on all of what is going on right now with the whole music industry situation, the grassroots conversation? Yeah,
I mean, grassroots is literally everything, because like everybody has to start somewhere as well. Like, and it's, I mean, I would not even be doing this, I don't think, had it not been for, like the small venues, like opening their place up to do open mics. But, like, do you know what I mean? And I think it's really rubbish. Like, I think that they're not getting the right support that they need, because ultimately, like, creativity, especially at school, I think is so important. And generally that's where, like, these dreams start. Like, you find something that you feel really good, like you feel like you're doing
and you
well
had
at.
Music lessons, or you had to sort of find it?
So I had music lessons from when I was little, because my mum tried to teach me piano and didn't end well, because I feel like the mother-daughter dynamic was not working. So I did have like classical piano lessons, I had violin lessons, and I was super lucky, because I think my parents were invested in me, like trying stuff, like, and I was really lucky that they were like, just try everything and see what you enjoy the most. But obviously, like, not everyone comes from a fortunate background where their parents are even aware of, like, you can get, I don't know, like the clarinet or
a ukulele.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so, and I think that a lot of the grassroots venues, especially in Essex as well, were a place for kids to come to as like a safe space as well. Like, I know that there was a lot of like youth run stuff, like the Hermit being one of them. I remember like my sister went there when she was young enough. We used to think she was so cool. Like, she'd go on a Friday night with her friends, and like, but it was like a jam night, so that whoever wanted to get up on the stage could.
Right.
And like that is like everything as a young kid that wants to get into music. And if that wasn't there, I don't think there's like a future for music, like actually at all, because they need the sport. And I think like it even goes back to like high streets now are just all chains, and like where they used to obviously have independent shops, and it's like a similar sort of thing. Like, people aren't getting the support that they need to keep these things going. So I feel like there needs to be some sort of like, I think this is why this is such a sick idea, because
thank you.
honestly.
No, but
hair flick moment, come on.
I know this is going to sound really like rich and narcissistic, but the whole point of this is it's not about me. It's not about, you know, the camera crew behind, and sort of like it's about where we are, and it's about trying to have some just kind of, even it's a tiny input to try and change the game, because all you hear at the moment is it's not going in that direction, it's going the other way. Yeah.
I know. And like at the end of the day, like I'm not Beyonce, like I'm not selling out stadiums, and so I do my
and we're not Joe Rogan.
But like, do you know what I mean? I still like host my headlines at small venues too. And it just becomes like, I think the whole live scene really struggles, and like still struggling as a knock on from the pandemic and all sorts. So it's like, I think it's like, you know, they need to carry on, and we need to just find a way to make it happen, because it's like, as I said, I just don't think the music industry has a future. Like every artist will have started in like a local pub or a local open mic. So it needs to be sorted.
Look, a lot of people would say you found your sweet spot in making really kind of like heartfelt music with a touch of the cheekiness thrown in, which is like kind of, well, you were talking about those classes at college. What is you? Getting proper deep. What is? Can you do that again?
What is you?
What is you? Can you do like the hand thing again?
What is you?
Yeah. It's not too embarrassing if we clip that up, is it?
Yeah, no. I just love the grammar of that though. I mean, it's who are you?
What is you? Who are you?
What is you?
It's just, you kind of think, you say you saying earlier you feel really comfortable with the place you're in right now. It's just, you feel like you will be making this kind of music for the foreseeable.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Because it feels like, it just feels like ultimately me. So if I can, you know, other people like it and that's that, then fingers crossed. I really like it, so hopefully.
Amazing. Sophie Griffiths, our very first episode of Breakthrough. Thank you so much.
Silent scream.
Woo! We need 200 people just behind us.
Yeah, obviously.
We couldn't afford that, I'm afraid.
In a crowd.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for having me. I've had such a lovely time.
Don't know why I did that. Yeah, it's fine. There we go. It's a wrap.